Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tiger Tank 12, however you call me, I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks. And yeah, today we're going to be playing the WZ-132. Now, light tanks are a bit of a, I don't even know, like a pleasure of mine to play because they're not very easy to play, but they're a lot of fun to play. They basically combine very much the high risk, high reward mentality, and they're vehicles that not everyone is fond of. Lightly armored, very fast, mostly with guns that just don't really do enough or aren't good enough. Yeah, they can be a bit of a nuisance, but not always. But light tanks on the map Himmelsdorf are usually not the best idea. Now, I am myself more of a passive kind of scout. I prefer to play like the maximum stealth game that you can do in a light tank. I like to be passive. I like to sit in a bush, get into aggressive positions, and then sit there. Maybe sometimes take a risk, get very early on into a position and then, spot the enemy vehicles. And that is not possible on the map Himmelsdorf. If you're playing on Himmelsdorf, there are no bushes, there's no place where you can really stay behind. So what you have to do on a map as Himmelsdorf is you'll have to be kind of the little light tank that is playing the medium tank role. That is something that the WZ-132A actually can do quite nicely because it's a tank which does a lot of damage for a light tank with its 100mm gun, which does 320 alpha damage and has 220mm of pen. But in a scenario like this, where you have to fight a defender, a IS-3A, a SU-130PM, and a T-30, yeah, getting exposed or being too aggressive is not a good option. Your HP pool is very limited, and their damage is very potent, so you're going to be in a very awkward situation right here. Unfortunately, I don't think I get the message immediately. I think I get shot. No, I'm smart. I'm a smart player, as you can see right there. I do not get shot by the defender because I think that is a waste of HP right there. So I fall back. We were not able to pen the defender's lower plate with 220mm of pen. So I've decided to load some APCR shells. Now, Chinese tanks are notoriously bad with their gun depression, and WZ-132 is certainly no exception from the rule. And you can see right there, we just got hit by the defender and it did massive damage. He actually hit our turret. But our Skoda T50 decided to move on in on the defender. Unfortunately for us, we're not able to take a shot, but we are able to track the IS-3A. And there comes the assistance damage. This is exactly what you need to do when you're playing your light tank. You're not supposed to be the one taking damage. You're supposed to be the one who is, still doing a bit of damage, because usually light tanks have a pretty decent rate of fire and, be a little bit of a nuisance on the side. So right here, we still managed to do 2000 damage, and I think the majority of that is just because this vehicle has such great pen and great gun characteristics. We even managed to hit the M53-55. And if you look at the game right here, it does look like it's kind of a done deal. Our tanks have like the enemies in retreat. We're taking out quite a few of them, but the HP pool are very unevenly distributed right here. And you can see that our Skoda T50 just died to that T30, and we very luckily get shot at by the SU-130PM, but he misses. And that's very important right here, because if he would have hit us, we probably would have still been alive, because the SU-130PM doesn't do more than 580, I think. Because artillery hits us for a massive 500 HP right there. But we still managed to take out the IS-3, a very dangerous tank right there, and now we notice that this game has gotten way closer than we first imagined it to be. This Progetto 46 and me, the WZ-13 2 are the last vehicles alive on the hill. We had support from the VK, we had support from the Skoda T50, we had support by, I think, another light tank up here, the WZ-132. But now you can see that actually the enemies have decided and managed to push our tanks out of their town, and now we're losing a lot of vehicles. And now it's basically a 5-on-4. No, it's a 5-on-6 engagement. Sorry about that. And yeah, I was a little bit confused as how we were going to be losing this game, because we weren't able to take out the Scorpion G, which was somewhere hidden in the back, and they managed to take out our heavy tanks down in the alleyway down here, and our artillery was actually able to do a lot of damage as well. But still, in the end, we managed to turn this around because the Scorpion G decided to move in. Scorpion G took care of the other Scorpion G, and they took care of the HWK-30 as well. And in the end, their push was a little bit too aggressive, and we managed to get the artillery. The thing is that the artillery right here decided to play very aggressively, because I think they wanted to support their heavy tank, their tank destroyer and their AMX 1390. But what ended up happening was that they kind of exposed themselves to me. That is why it was very important for me to get down there, especially to the 1-2 line, because I expected the artillery to be moving there somewhere. And that's exactly what they did. And now it's a T-30 versus 5 tanks. And it's quite interesting versus 4 tanks. But it's quite interesting that they weren't able to capitalize anymore after they did a lot of damage right there. And we just were able to actually flank around them and take care of the rest. So 3,873 damage, 858 damage assisted or spotted. And yeah, you can see that if you have to actually resort to your gun, a light tank can be quite potent as well. You just have to be a bit lucky, especially with the artillery right there. Could have been a direct pen, but it didn't pen us. Although it even hit us on the back of the tank. And we got very lucky with the SU-130 PM. But in the end, we still managed to snag a win right there. And it was a very nice game that I had in my WZ-132A. And I thought I'd share it with you guys. So I see you guys on the next one. And until then, peace out.